build on yesterday's lessons of solving equations, where we're actually going to have to make equations out of word problems and solve them. So in any word problem that you've been doing over the years, what was the first thing you did when you got it? What do you think we should do first? Remember to talk nice and loud. Hugo.
You looked at the first part of the problem and saw what needed to be done. What needed to be done.
Good. We had to look and find out what the details were. We had to read it, look for the problem and what's important. So that's step one. Step one. Look for / underline key words and info. So if you raise your hand and say, Mr. Morrison, I don't understand this problem, when I walk over to you, at the very least, you should have key facts written down and stuff underlined. The very, very least. Step two is going to be actually taking the words and making an equation out of it, which could be difficult at times. So step two is optional. It's kind of here to help you. If you feel like this is more confusing, then don't do it. But first, before we make an equation with numbers and letters, we're just going to make it with words. So I'm going to write an equation with words. So looking at this word problem, who can read it for me nice and loud, and we'll do steps 1 and 2 together. Harold.
Denisha Bordley, Mitchell Carter, Taylor Thompson, Jeremy Segarra, and Christian Goodwin to the nurse's office.
Two sisters, Jenny and Penny, play on the same basketball team. Last season, they scored a combined total of 458 points. Jenny scored 192 of the points. Write and solve an equation to find the number of points Penny scored.
That's a lot of stuff there. So what's important? What jumped off the page at you? What should I underline? What's key info?
That Jenny scored 192 points.
Okay. What else?
They scored a combined total of 458 points.
Sometimes the most important part of the question is the question itself. So what's this problem asking? What's it want to know? What's it want you to do?
Solve the equation.
We have to make an equation and solve it, but what's the equation looking for?
The answer.
The answer, it is looking for an answer. Mary, help him out.
You're supposed to find the points that Penny scored.
Good, you're looking for Penny, so you want the points Penny scored. So now if we just had to write this in words, and again, if this is confusing to you, you can just write the equation. What are we doing in words? You kind of have to have a number, an operation, and a total in almost all these problems. So you kind of need like a beginning, a middle, and an end. The end is going to be the total. So in this point, what's the total? Tammy? Yeah, the points. So we're just going to say it in words as total points. But what are we doing in words to get to our total points? How are we going to get our combined total points? What are we going to have to do in words to get how many points they scored totally? Hugo?
To get the combined total points?
Yes.
Well, they already gave us combined total points.
They did give us the combined total points, but we're missing other pieces to get there. But in words, how would you get these two people, Jenny and Penny's combined total points?
You could add their number of points together.
Good, so you would say Jenny plus Penny equals the total points. And again, if this step is confusing, by all means don't do it. But at times when these get more complicated, it might help you to write down the logic and reasoning of all the pieces and how they fit together. and that's going to make writing the equation easier. And in step 3, it's really already written for us. All we have to do is replace words with what you know. So do we know Jenny? Jenny isn't Jenny anymore. She's now 192. Do we know Penny? What's Penny? We don't know. So she's still just going to be Penny. And how about the total? Do we know the total? Which is? Good, 458. Okay, so now we almost have an equation. So step 4, some of you guys are already saying it. We shouldn't really have Penny in there. It's not really an equation with Penny. So what do? Lenny?
Put a variable.
Make it a variable. Good. So step 4. Define the variable. And that's a little bit more than just making it. So we would say we have to pick something. So Lenny, what should we pick for Penny? X would be okay, but I think Lenny, we could do better than that.
L.
L for Lenny?
Yes.
No. Shane?
P.
P. So we'd say P and say what it stands for. Does P stand for Penny? Nope.
No. It stands for the number of points Penny has.
Good. Be specific. It doesn't stand for Penny. It stands for how many points she has. So P equals Penny's points.
You get that. And a apostrophe.
Thanks.
Anytime.
I forgot the S. So step 5 is going to be solve it. So now that we have all of it, we just have to put it together and solve it. 192 plus P equals 458. We just solve it by doing the opposite. So instead of adding 192, we subtract. So P equals 266. And the last and final step, we almost got the answer. You could check it, that's true. You should check it, but I think that's part of the solving part. So what do you think our last final step could be to answering a word problem? Nice and loud.
Explain.
Sort of?
Label?
Sort of? Put the two together?
Right.
Good job. Write it in a complete sentence. I didn't say it wrong. I said sort of. Answer in a sentence. So we would just say, Penny scored 266 points. So now you know how to solve equations in word problems. Congratulations. The world is your oyster.